Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will be doing an easy and simple painting tutorial. So for this particular project, all you need is your paintbrush, a paper towel, some water to clean your brush off. I've got a small piece of paper here where we will be practicing our brush strokes, and I've went ahead and I've chosen 7 different colors, and I'd like to theme my painting today to the an autumn setting. Okay, so first up, before we start actually painting on our canvas, we are going to practice our brush strokes on a piece of paper. Okay, so we're going to dip our paintbrush into water, but we are not soaking it, and then we're just going to dab it off on the paper towel. Next, you are just going to put a little bit of paint onto the brush. Okay, so I've had to change my colors. Every painter's nightmare. My paints have dried inside their containers. But one that was wet was this color over here. So what I did was I just added some paint onto my brush, and then gently we are just going to make some strokes. Now, if you can see on the brush, there are a few stray hairs. So I'm going to clean this brush off and trim those hairs with a scissor before we start actually painting. So I've changed the color palette that I had originally, and this is the new colors that we will be using for this tutorial. Okay, so you're going to open up your first palette, and we're not going to worry so much about the spots on the canvas, as that will be covered up by the paint. Another thing is that I am using an old makeup brush as opposed to a normal paintbrush, as I just found that this gave me better control with my brush strokes. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of paint to the edge of the paintbrush, and then we're just going to wipe off any excess on the side of the container, and in the top we are going to repeat similar brush strokes that we did on our piece of paper, and we are going to fill up in lines until all the colors are used up. So in the top corner we're going to make sort of a leaf pattern. Now it doesn't have to be the neatest of petals as long as you can see that blotch of color. Once done with your first color, you will make sure that your paint is sealed, and then we clean off the brush before we use the next color. Okay, for the next color we are going to repeat the process, but when we are painting onto the black canvas we are going to layer it slightly over the green area. Now when I am painting, I'm using the same motion for all my brush strokes, meaning that I'm painting from the top and going down. Okay, so we are just going to repeat this process until we get to the end of the canvas. Okay, so now we are done with the first row, so we are going to start the second row. the last color I used over here was the maroon, so the next color I will use in the sequence is blue again. So following the same process for the second row, we are going to start slightly below the green mark that we had at the start. So over there, we are just going to start our next row, bring it a little bit on the top just to touch the green area. And again, you will complete this process row after row until we've reached the bottom. Continue, and we are just on our last line. We are nearly there. And this is our last color in. Okay, so you can leave your canvas as is if you are happy with it, or you can write an inspirational quote, you can write your name, you can write any word of your choice over this canvas once you are sure that the paints are completely dry.